Welcome to our Devos this week. In church, we covered Daniel chapter 8, one of the most impressively prophetic chapters in the entire Bible, not just the Old Testament, but also the New. And one of the things that we realize when we read that is just how much God knows about who we are, what's going to happen in history, and what's going to happen even with people that are against him. So this devotional series is all about the fact that we are known by God. We are known by God. And we might think, because we look at everybody and we go, everybody's got an individual life. They're all different. They have different backgrounds. They have different races, ethnicities, different languages. I mean, could God really know all of that complexity of humankind so intimately to the most finite detail? The answer is yes. We are known by God. We are known by God. In fact, God knows your inner complexity. You think that you're complex. You think, oh, nobody can figure me out. I can't even figure myself out. I want you to know God has you mapped. He has you down to a science. He knows exactly what's going on with your shortcomings. He knows exactly where your insecurities are. He knows exactly the things that trip you up in life. He knows your problems before you do. He knows just how complex you are because he describes in his word exactly how intimately he's acquainted with who we are. It says in Psalm 139, verse 16, the psalmist writes, "Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there were none of them." He says, you saw me even before I was formed. He said, every single day, now picture this for a minute. Listen to what he's saying here. Every single day that I've ever lived, well, you knew what would happen in each day. Before I've even lived one of them, before I took a breath, you knew what my last day was going to be like. Think about that for a moment and focus on that for a moment. How amazing is it to know that we have a God who is so infinite in majesty, yet so uniquely intimate about the details of our lives? Why do we want to care about knowing this? Why do we want to emphasize this? Well, it's simple. I think a lot of us live as though God is so far away. We act and behave as though God has no knowledge of the things that we're doing. We value our lives as if the creator and maker of the universe has not invested his life into us and given us life in Christ through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ and through the resurrection of Christ. We act as though our life doesn't have the value that God has assigned it. I promise you this. If you're listening to this, no matter where you are in your life, you are known by God. Every single day you are going to live is not going to surprise God. But you can be surprised by knowing that you can trust him with each one of those days. And even when things come into your life that seem undeniably complex, God has already sorted that all out. So that means we can pursue him. That means that we can trust him. That means that we are able to take the cares of this world and turn them over to him because he's the one that ultimately knows everything about who we are and about what he wants to do in our lives.